One of the most controversial changes that George Lucas made when he was changing the original trilogy is the inclusion of Hayden Christensen as the Force spirit of Anakin Skywalker. Now, this has been debated ever since this change was made. Some people love it, while others don't. There have been a lot of good arguments made, both for it and against it. In today's video, I'm going to share my opinion and explain why I think Hayden Christensen was ultimately the right choice. Alright, so the first reason Hayden Christensen is a better choice is the fact that Sebastian Shaw is too old and doesn't have the body of Darth Vader. Darth Vader is 45 in Return of the Jedi, and Sebastian Shaw was 78 when he played him in Return of the Jedi. Now, an argument that I've heard is that the dark side takes away from you and would probably age him. Now, I'm not denying that the dark side can age Force users. We've seen it a couple of times. In Dark Empire, we learn that the dark side is actually so detrimental to Palpatine's body that he needs to replace himself and transfer his consciousness into clones. George Lucas also stated that Dooku was weaker in Revenge of the Sith than in Attack of the Clones, because of the effect that the dark side had on him. However, 78 is just too old looking in my opinion. Yeah, Darth Vader has suffered from the dark side, but there's no way that he would be that old looking. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, as I'm sure some of you are probably thinking, we did see Shaw as Vader a few scenes earlier. Many people have argued that this alone is why Vader should look like him. But here's the thing. Shaw had so much makeup on that he looked more like a severe burn victim than a 78-year-old man. You could barely tell what he looks like under all of that. Another reason Sebastian Shaw didn't work as Anakin, and I don't mean to be rude to Sebastian Shaw, but Shaw had a very different physique when you compare it to David Prowse, the man in the Vader suit in the previous 3 movies. David Prowse was a bodybuilder and looked like this. Then all of a sudden we see him as a healed Anakin and he looks like this. These are 2 very different looking physiques. It just doesn't add up. If this is supposed to be a healed version of him, how do you explain the extra weight and the loss of muscle? Now, looking at these photos, David Prowse honestly wouldn't have been a bad choice to play the Force Ghost of Anakin Skywalker. His age matches up and he honestly looks like he could be an older Hayden Christensen. And unlike Shaw, he has the exact physique needed to play Vader, because he did play him for 3 movies. Now, those are some of the reasons I think Sebastian Shaw doesn't work as Anakin, but I still haven't explained why I believe Hayden was a better alternative. Now, when Hayden Christensen originally replaced Sebastian Shaw in 2004, the dislike for the prequels was at an all-time high. The first 2 movies weren't super popular with fans at the time, and Shaw's Force Ghost being replaced didn't help things. Now, as the years went on, people started to appreciate the prequels and Hayden Christensen more. They started to enjoy Anakin's character and understand the story that George was trying to tell. The Clone Wars multimedia project in the expanded universe and the Clone Wars show both helped to sway people to the character of Anakin Skywalker. Now, whether you like it or not, Anakin Skywalker is one of, if not the most important character in the Star Wars movies. His journey from Jedi to Sith and his redemption is a key part of those 6 movies. Both as Anakin and Vader, he played a huge role, eventually defeating Palpatine and dealing a huge blow to the Empire. What I'm trying to say is that his story is connected throughout the movies, and seeing him as Anakin's spirit helps bring it full circle and unite both trilogies. Now, on top of all of that, George Lucas has stated that Force ghosts appear how they see themselves. For years, Anakin considered himself to be Darth Vader. He tried to separate himself from Anakin as much as possible. In the EU, when Anakin died, he heard Yoda and Obi-Wan calling out to him, and he remembered who he was. Not the tyrannical monster that he became when he was Darth Vader, but Anakin Skywalker, which is why he appeared younger, because it was the last time he was Anakin. Now, I know that this explanation probably won't work for everyone. It will for some, but not all. Here's the thing. 9 times out of 10, most Star Wars fans will prefer the version of the original trilogy that they saw first. Most people that prefer Shaw as Anakin watched the 1983 version first, whereas most people who prefer Hayden Christensen as Anakin's Force spirit saw the 2004 version first. At the end of the day, that's just what it boils down to. And although I prefer Hayden, I completely understand why so many people enjoy Sebastian Shaw instead. But what do you think? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Please be respectful and civil with one another. I hope you all have an amazing day. May the Force be with you.